Hi again, ladies and gents. Okay, so we are going to take up numbers 7 to 11 from the review. So, number 7 was asking, Pierce babysits for $5.50 an hour. He earned $1,155 during the summer. How many hours did he babysit? So, I started off, I wrote down the information. We know that he worked for $5.50 per hour, or every hour, that's how much money he got. And we know that this is the total amount of money that he earned. So every $5.50 of this represents 1 hour of time. So we're going to see how many $5.50 chunks there are inside his 1,155. So as you can see, I divided them. And we get 210 of them. So that means that he worked for 210 hours. Okay, number 8. Speedwalker walks 2.5 kilometers in 20 minutes, and they want average speed in kilometers per minute. So I wrote down the rate that they gave us, 2.5 kilometers per 20 minutes. And then down here, I wrote down that this originally was blank, but, blank kilometers per minute. Again, with taking up this homework, I've pre-written out all the answers just to make this video a little bit faster for you, so you're not sitting there watching me write. Okay, so excuse the lack of tech savvy there. That would be blank, just how many kilometers per minute we're looking for. So what we have is, we know that he was going for 20 minutes. We want to know how far he got in 1 minute. So what do we do to 20 and make it 1? Divide by 20. We do the same over here, 2.5 divided by 20, and we get 0.125 kilometers per minute. When we get down to B, it says average speed in kilometers per hour. So same idea, I would be writing down blank kilometers per hour. So we know how far they get in 1 minute. We want to know how far they get in 1 hour. So what do we have to do to go from a minute to an hour? Well, there's 60 minutes in an hour, so we multiply by 60. Okay, do the same here. 0.125 multiplied by 60 gives us 7.5 kilometers per hour that they walked. Number 9, Kieran ran 8 laps in 18 minutes. Javon ran 6 laps of the track in 10 minutes. And then who had the greatest average speed? So average speed, we want to know how many laps per minute, because this is all the laps in all the minutes for both of them. We want to know basically if they kept the exact same pace all the way through, how many laps would they do in 1 minute. So basically they're saying make a unit rate for their speeds. Just like the speed on the road, we measure our speed in kilometers per hour. If you did an average of 80 kilometers per hour, that doesn't mean you're doing 80K the entire time. Sometimes you're stopped, sometimes you're going faster, sometimes you're going slower, but it averages out to 80 kilometers per hour. Okay, so again, same idea. We know that we have 18 minutes. What do we do to get down to 1 minute? Well, divide by 18, do the same to our laps, and it would spit out 0.4 repeating laps per minute. Again, that's the repeating sign. For Javon, figure out how many laps per minute. It was 10 minutes. Divide by 10 gives us 1 minute. Divide that by 10, 0.6 laps per minute. So Javon was running faster. For number 10, saying 40% of an average person's body is muscle. So I wrote that down. And it says Ali has a mass of 73 kilograms. What's the mass of his muscle? So they're saying, hey, what's 40% of the person's muscle mass? So I wrote down 40% of the muscle mass. Remember, 40% gets changed to a decimal, because this is 100 times larger than what it should be. So decimal moves once, twice to the left. We get 0.4. Of means multiply, and we multiply it by 73. 29.2 kilograms of his muscle is, of his body is muscle. For part B, it said, how much of your body is muscle and how do you know? So what do you got to do? Well, you hop on a scale and just weigh yourself. If it happens to be in pounds, because that's what your scale is, not kilograms, it's fine. It doesn't really matter. It's just the experience of doing this. And then you want to find what 40% of your body weight is. So I took a guess that some of you might be around 54 kilograms. And we're going to find 40% of that. So again, change that to a decimal, multiply by 54. You get 21.6 kilograms of bulging muscles. And don't mess with them. Part C asked for you to draw a diagram. So what I did, I drew a line. Okay, I wrote down 0% and 0 kilograms. I knew that this person's entire body weight was 54 kilograms, so that would be 100%. And then I went along, okay, so that's 0%, that's 100%, I want 40%, so all right, that would be about halfway. I went a little bit back, went boop, 40%, and I wrote down the person's weight. Okay? Number 11. So, you got a factory that makes tomato sauce. They shipped out 2,000 jars, and 0.85% were broken. Part A asks you to estimate how many were broken. So take a look at our numbers. Whenever we're doing an estimate, we want it to be as easy as possible. You should be able to do it in your head. So we looked at the percentages, 0.85%. That's not easy to work with, but it's close to 1%. That's easy to work with. So 1% of 2,000. Same thing, change that to a decimal, of means multiply. Now you're saying, okay, but I still have to do it in the calculator. Well, you don't. Two ways of looking at this. Finding 1% of something is the same as dividing it by 100, which would take your decimal place once, twice to the left. This is saying the same thing, saying, like, if you think, forget this part for a moment, okay? If you just had 1 times 2,000, it'd be 2,000. If we took the decimal and went one spot to the left, putting it right there, just before the 1, it'd be 0.1. Well, this would get 1 spot smaller as well, so now we're down to 200. 0.01, oh, it moved once, twice. So our decimal's going once, twice. We get an estimate of 20, totally done in our head. Part B asked us to calculate it, so we're using our actual numbers. 0.85% times 2,000. Again, even though this is already a decimal, please don't fall into that trap. A lot of students do. They say, oh, it's a decimal already. Great, I don't have to change it. You do, it's still a percent. This is still 100 times bigger than what it should be. So the decimal was sitting there once, twice to the left. It's 0.0085 multiplied by 2,000. And we get 17. And then you're going, oh, okay, 17 and 20, that's close. So, like, yes, I can believe my calculator that that's the right answer. And that's why they get you to estimate, okay? So you're not just blindly believing what the calculator is. You should have a rough idea about what it should be. And Part C asked us to calculate it. To show it on a number line again. So, same thing. I drew a line. I put down the beginning, 0 and 0%. I went down to the end, 100%. What represents all of it in this case? The 2,000 jars. Okay? And then they want us to show this answer down here, 0.85% and 17. So that's less than a percent. In reality, that number or that line is going to be even closer, but I wanted to leave some separation for you. But regardless, we're getting across. It's really close to 0. So I drew that in, marked it as 0.85%, and then the number that represents 0.85%. Okay? So moving on, I'll assign the next quarter of the questions or so you can do those. Please, again, if you have questions as you're moving along, Mathify, go try it, okay? If you haven't done it yet, please give it a shot, even if it's just for the heck of it, so that you can get used to it for if you have another question later, so it's not a panic. Again, it's a phenomenal resource. I can't stress it enough. And then you'll be getting help instantly. You are still welcome to put questions in the class, in the comments for the class in Google Classroom. It's just I may not get to you right when you need it. Whereas if you go on Mathify, they're open 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. You'll get the answer right when you need it. Okay? That's it for now. I hope things are still going well. And again, I hope you're getting sleep, getting up proper times, going to bed proper times, getting some exercise, enjoying some sunshine. Still be very careful. Please take this seriously. I know you're young and you're thinking, a lot of young people are thinking, oh, I can't catch it. Please take care of yourself and your family. practice that physical distancing, chat with your friends on the internet and on the phone and everything else like that, but stay safe. Okay? Take care, guys and gals. Bye for now.